Going
I think
live. I'm
I'm
just
live. I might be.
check. Your stream finished, and now you're live. Am I
I'm live.
live?
No, I'm
I am
live. I
live.
think
I've
I'm
got
live.
no babies on. No, yep, I'm definitely on, and no, it keeps saying watch the replay. Get rid of that one. Let's refresh it. Yep. You are there. I've got 3. Mary Beth is back. Christy is back. Hi. Hello. Yeah, we got 3 on.
Let's see. I don't have anybody.
Oh, they'll come on.
Oh,
They'll
I
come
got one.
on.
I just got one. Got one.
Got one.
Got one.
Yeehaw.
Yes. Well, I started to
Yeah.
think I wasn't live there for a second.
No, you definitely are. I can see you.
All right.
I can see you all. I'll put that down there. Fantastic. So I hope you've all had a break, managed to have a little break as well, because I know these are long and sometimes we have to. Yep, 4 on. Mary Jane is back. You guys are amazing, absolutely amazing. So as soon as, I think it was Lindsay, I said, as soon as Lindsay comes back on, we're going to kick off. So yeah, feeling good, feeling good. In fact, my last fast, Monday night, when I had my friend Anna on, she really thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's something that she knows she has to do for her new business. She's become an animal chiropractor. She is a veterinary, a vet. So she's kind of branching out and moving on. And we ended up talking until 6:30 in the morning before we actually went to bed. So I was up at 7, started my fast at 7 in the morning and went all the way through. So almost 24 hours without eating. And she made some lovely food when she got here. So that's great. Yay! Lindsay heard her name. Lindsay, it was you that was talking about pregnancy and your BMI, I believe. Can you stick your BMI up for us so that
That sounds kind of rude, actually, but okay.
I know it does. It does. Oops. You know what I mean, babies. Yep, I've got 8 back on now. Excellent. Let us know who's back on. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages. 10. There's 10 on now. Absolutely great. Yeah, because it would be more helpful because of your comment you said before. Hi, Sherry. Lovely that you're back.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Sherry. I got a Sherry too.
Have you? I've got Sherry V.
I've got Sherry Spencer.
Sherry Spencer. Right.
Uh,
Lindsay says her BMI is 41. And I think, was it about fasting or changing her diet and having babies? So, um, could you stick your actual question down? Because unless you can remember it exactly what she was asking, we don't want to answer the wrong question. So what was your worry? Was it to do with fasting or plant-based and your BMI and changing your habits in order to, to give yourself a good chance of getting pregnant or whatever? I literally, let me know what it was. Hi, Kate.
I think the question, or I think what she was saying was that, and I didn't read the original comment; it was on your channel. But I
Yeah,
think what she was saying was that she was worried that getting pregnant at her level of obesity would be dangerous.
that's it. That's it. That's it. Well
And
done.
I think part of it has to do with her age and whether she has other medical problems. I think that in general, anybody with a body mass index of over 40 is at an exceptionally higher risk of all kinds of problems in life. But considering an elective pregnancy at a BMI of over 40 would it would be frowned upon, I think, especially if you have the ability to do something about it. So I would say if you're able to lose weight and you can postpone childbearing, then I would suggest that is exactly what you do. However, if you were to become pregnant at that body mass, then you could certainly have a safe pregnancy. It would just require, I think, it would be a little bit higher risk pregnancy, but I think a regular OB doctor could handle that extra risk. You would need to see what we call an MFM here, a maternal fetal medicine expert. Those are for the super high risk pregnancies. Like for multiple gestations and things like that. So.
She said she feared that she was far too overweight to be safely pregnant, and she's on the pill.
Well, and being with having a body mass index of over 41 and being on estrogen and contraceptives is also an increased risk of blood clots and other problems too. So you have to take that into consideration as well.
Okay, cool. Does that help you? I hope that helps you. I mean, the more healthy your diet. I mean, people often think they have to go on a diet to lose weight, and then when they lose weight, they'll be more healthy. And this is such a misconception. You need to be more healthy in order to lose weight. It doesn't work the other way around. It doesn't. Some of the things that people do to lose weight, they're not sustainable. You end up putting more on afterwards, and it's not healthy. The more healthy you are, your body knows what to do with everything it's got that it shouldn't have, and it knows how to get all the things, providing you're giving it, and how to put those to good use. Your body is the most amazing machine. It absolutely is, and it's there. It's been there your whole life, trying its best to love you. And this is something that somebody said when I was at my vegan festival. It was after doing a yoga class. And a lot of us kind of, I don't know, you were kind of like, we're always hungry for love. And our actual body, it's there. It's there to love you. It's there to make you feel good. It's there to move about and do things for you if you just stick the right stuff in it. So, I know a lot of you want to lose weight, and I want to lose weight as well, but I'm not focusing on the losing weight. I'm focusing on putting really, really healthy, efficient fuel in my body, and my body's going to do the rest. It's already lost 8 pounds and 15 inches. So, and all I've done is put plant-based healthy food in my body, and I've been doing this twice weekly fast. So, it really is, it really is, it's sticking to it can be difficult. And somebody actually last time said about the confidence to actually go through with this. And I think, and I said this on one of my videos on my channel, and I also did it on Facebook, but not all of you will have seen it. So I'm going to say it again. Quite often when you take on a big change, which is going to require a change in your behavior, and you're going to have to do different things, and there might be a lot of work to do it. You might have to, get rid of stuff in your cupboards. You might have to go seek out new things that you're not used to doing. So there's the work involved in making the change, but there's lots of emotions attached to when you're making changes in your behavior. And what a lot of people do is they focus on this chasm of a gap between where you are now and where you're dreaming of being. If you focus on that gap, it's daunting, it's scary, it takes your confidence away. The little voice in your head starts wondering if you're going to be able to keep up with it, if you're going to be able to do it. And that's the little voice that when you slip over and end up sucking up a spaghetti bolognese accidentally, that you go, oh, well, I've broken it now. See, I'm no good. I may as well just eat my way through this week. And I'll wait till Monday, as if Monday is a special day for starting things. Don't focus on this big gap, okay? It doesn't matter how big or small your gap is. That the gap is still something that what you want is not where you are now. Focus on minute to minute, day to day things. Focus on what you're doing now. Focus on getting control of your thoughts. Focus on not hanging off that fridge door. Focusing on reminding yourself you're fasting today. And whatever happens, you're not going to eat anything. Just make another cup of tea. Just drink another glass of water. and if you focus on these small steps, you're going to be getting closer to your goals. So try not to knock your own confidence by looking at the gap. Okay, look at what you did today. Pat yourself on your back. Be proud of yourself. Congratulate yourself, because the very fact that you're on here means you're serious about doing something. And what you think about, you bring about. Whatever's in the forefront of your mind, in the forefront of your thoughts, is in the forefront of your mind. And you will find the things that you think about all the time come to pass. Just stick with it and congratulate yourself that you're on this call, that you're making steps, that you're changing things, and celebrate your results. Dance around the room about your results. Broadcast them from the highest point on the hill, because these are successes. Share them with us, because there might be someone sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I can do it, but I know what they're saying is great. And all they need is a comment from you going, I've done this and it's really good. And I actually see that. I don't know if it's happening on your channel as well, but people are congratulating each other. People are, going, you can do it, well done. Oh, thanks for that. Thanks. People are actually selling the idea of doing this and being all in to each other because of the benefits they're already gaining. So is that happening on your channel as well, Jack?
I think everybody's just listening to you right now.
Yeah, but I mean, just generally, they're not. It's just generally the chit chat between everybody.
Oh yeah,
is
sure.
very congratulatory and
talking
it's
about
really
food
good.
substitutes and talking about
Yeah,
just different things, what to do, how you feel, things like that.
yeah. So I hope that information was helpful. Lindsay, yes, very much. I figured it was unhealthy. Hearing from an actual doctor is affirmation of what I knew already. I just hope that I'm not too late to reverse the ill effects. Okay, Lindsay, I would say if you are wanting to lose weight so that you can safely have a baby, you have got one of the most massive whys. Why are you doing it? You're doing it for what you would like to happen in the future. So that should literally stop you hanging off the fridge door. It should get you onto plant-based. It should get you onto whole foods. It should make you stick to your gut. Well, should is the wrong word, and I'm sorry that I used that word. It can motivate you to do that, because that's a really, really strong why. Because, women are very passionate about having families and men are very passionate about having families. And this is something that get on it like your house is on fire, because the only way is up from there. So, we wish you all the best with that. Just stick to it. If you feel low, send me a message on this video, send me if you're on Facebook with me, just, you're probably making connections on here. Get a bit of support from us, because we're here to lift you up and make sure that you succeed. So that is an amazing why. And all of you have a why. But that's just an incredible one, to bring a new life into the world and to want to do it safely. That's just that has just got to be on your mind every day. So that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's never too late. Get on it. Get on it. That's what I say. Sweet potatoes are not bad. They're fantastic. They have less starch in them than white potatoes. They're delicious. You can use them I think, sweet potato pie, I think you have that over there. They're a great alternative when making things like brownies. You'll put on less weight with them. They're very good for you. So they are starchy, but not as starchy. So yeah, when I help people when I'm coaching losing weight, I actually say, don't potato, switch them out with sweet potato. So yeah, they're great. They're not bad. Lynn's lost 2 pounds in 2 weeks. She's really happy and she feels much better for the changes. Well done. Hurrah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I like that. Abby just stuck her head in and I asked her to go put on her tie-dye shirt and come wear it.
Yes!
So she said yes. Oh. She ran off to do that. So she's kind of excited about doing that.
Julie, are you on here, Julie? The lovely Julie. Loving your lovely tie-dye. Yeah, Julie sent me this. I opened it today. Came on our P.O. box. Yeah, sweet potatoes are definitely bad when you're fasting, along with every other food on the planet. That's a funny one. Well done, Lindsay.
We're trying to find the only one food that is safe. We just haven't found it yet. We're still working on that.
Yeah, well, but you did say that if you're absolutely wanting to chew your own hand off and you think you're going to fall off the edge and not achieve it, celery has no calories, and the amount of calories it takes to actually digest it negates anything. So munch on celery, and I think you said cucumber as well, because that's got virtually no calories in it, and it's super hydrating. Super hydrating. Good. Sharon loves sweet potatoes. Lots of laughing. I heard purple potatoes are healthy. Don't know. I think they're one of those, purple carrots, makes everyone buy them because they're new. I don't know. I don't know about that. But you can't go wrong with whole fruits and vegetables. Really just get, woo, look at you. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Have you seen mine?
Oh, did you get one too?
Yeah, I did. A Wink got one as well. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yours is fantastic.
Mine's great.
Looks like a big heart on it. Thank you so much, Julie. It's brilliant. It matches mine a little bit there.
Yeah, you got some in the mail though. You got 2 in the mail.
I did. I got more.
Yes, that's not one of the ones you got in the mail.
Oh yeah, this is one of the ones I got in my mail.
Yeah.
I thought you got 2 more. I was like, no.
You got 2 in the mail. Your mother told me.
Oh yes, this is one of the 2.
Okay, so that's not from someone else. It was a gift.
It was a gift from
Yes. From a fan.
Yeah.
It was a gift from a fan.
It's a gift from Julie.
Julie.
Who I don't think Julie's on at the moment because she's not said hello. She's not said, yes, I'm watching. And everybody here is saying it's awesome and that's gorgeous. Abby, that's lovely. Nice, Dee Dee. Abby looking good, gals.
Did you steal all of the viewers? Because I only have 9.
Mom's.
That's 21. I'm 21.
I always lose them at the break. I had 22, and now I only have 9. I'm going to have to call some people up and tell them to log on. This is ridiculous.
Oi, get back on.
I've
got 20 back. I did have a few more.
Thank you.
At one point.
Christmas some more.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Abby.
Nice to see you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Have fun.
Okay.
We always do. So right. Have any of you got any questions? Have any of you got any successes that you've had this week? Have any of you got anything that you struggled with this week?
I struggled yesterday. I struggled with bread yesterday.
Did you?
I counted them. I ate 10 pieces of bread yesterday.
Jack.
I had two for breakfast in toast, and then I had the school thing, so I ran home for lunch, and I had a tomato sandwich, which was delicious, on Dave's Killer Bread, and then I decided I wanted a little almond sandwich, which was a little bit extra. I didn't have to have that. But then in the evening, I made those soy curls. I made soy curls, I grilled them. They were delicious. They're a brand called Butler, and you just soak these they're like little Crispies, and you soak them in water, and they swell up, and you throw them into whatever, and it adds more to it. I grilled them like chicken, though. I grilled them and put chicken seasoning on them, and they were fantastic. And I had to have 2 sandwiches of. I didn't need to eat them that way. I could have just eaten so I had a hard time yesterday with that. So, but I have a weakness for bread. I think I've been pretty open about that, and so fasting is what helps me keep it under control. Otherwise, I'd eat it every day. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think perhaps you need to find a go-to that it's obviously you want a carb or comforty sort of foodie thing. When you're wanting something like bread, it's kind of maybe maybe have some oatmeal at that stage and put some banana in it or something. Something that's I don't know.
It's my addiction to cheap and easy calories, and that's why it's easy for me when I don't eat at all to fast, because I don't think about it, I don't worry about it. It's when I do eat that I also look for, to me it's more of a task now that just needs to get done, and so I go in and I look for quick, and really that's pretty quick for me is even though it's whole grain, 21 grains, and it's really a healthy bread, it's still a bread. And I got too much of it. I mean, it just did. So, again, I'm struggling with my food addiction. I like to eat, and for me, fasting helps keep it under control. But I can't cure it. I mean, I can't cure my addiction to food because I'm always going to have to eat. We've talked about this before. So for me, it's about trying to manage it the best I can. And so you said any struggles. Well, I had a big struggle yesterday with bread, and that's a regular struggle for me. And there could be a lot of reasons for it. Maybe I don't drink enough water, or maybe I don't. Who knows what? But
it's your go-to thing that you like to do.
It is. So. It is something that I struggle with, and it would be there. And I had other options that were healthier and. That I could have gotten and I could have eaten. I just chose the bread. I continue to choose that, even though even it's $6 a loaf bread. I mean, it's good bread. Don't get me wrong. It's just I didn't eat as much of it as I did. So that's my failure for the day.
Well done, and they're thanking you for being honest.
Oh, I'm happy to be honest.
Which is lovely. And I've got Lindsay struggled with her stomach adjusting to her new way of eating, and I think some of you have done that. Sometimes you can get a bit of gas, and you can get a bit of just your stomach feeling different, and when you go to the loo, things are a little bit different from normal, and it takes a while. And I had that actually with fasting, because there's no food in your system, so then you kind of wasn't anything to pass, and then you would eat the next day, and then it was like a bit of a gap and a little rumbly. That's actually gone now. I think this might be my 5th fast today. I've actually forgotten. I've lost count. But that's normal. Just work through it, because it will change. Absolutely will. I think Anna spoke about that as well on Monday. Sherry's jeans are fitting better, and she says she's really happy about that. She only had one pair of jeans last year that she could fit into. And we're being asked, is soy really good for you? I've heard it's not.
I think there's a lot of misinformation out there about soy. I think soy is just fine. I enjoy soy. I eat a lot of soy. I don't think it's problematic. There's a lot of people that are concerned that it has anti-estrogen or estrogen effects of some kind. I've read a lot of books and seen lots of material about whole food plant-based eating, and nobody is taking the concern about soy seriously, because the bottom line is, when you look at cultures where they eat a lot of soy, these people do not have cancer problems. They do not have heart disease problems. They do not have diabetes problems, and they live long lives. So there's no reason to believe that soy as a vegetable should be avoided. If you've got information about that, let me know. And Robin's just saying she thinks overprocessed soy is the culprit, and that very well may be the case. And just as a reminder, we try to eat our food as close to being natural as and like we had with Anna, as raw as possible, right? Because she's a raw vegan, right? So
yeah.
We try to eat it as, I love tomato sandwiches. If I could get away from the bread, they'd probably be great, but I love sliced tomatoes. I love sliced bell peppers. I can roll a sliced bell pepper up into a little tortilla and eat it and just love it. Absolutely fantastic. It'd probably be better if I would just learn to eat the bell pepper and just leave that other stuff out. But I'm not there yet, guys, okay?
No, and it is. It's like she's been a vegan for 4 years, but she's only been raw since probably, I think, November of last year. So almost when we went vegan, she'd only just gone raw. And that's why she said, she's kind of 70 to 90% raw. Mm-hmm. And it's a difficult time of year to do raw because, it's in parts of the world that are cold. So, everybody has their struggle on. She's struggling from vegan to raw. So it is normal. Sharon's has dropped down 1 dress size in 3 weeks, so she's got lots of exclamation marks there. Chrissy is missing cheese. Okay, don't think about cheese. Try not to think about it, and try the vegan cheeses. Honestly, I cut out cheese for, it will be almost 4 years now in my life, and because I just know that it's not good for me, and I feel better when I didn't eat it. And this was before I was vegan. And when I went vegan, because I was all like, ooh, new thing, I've got to find out everything about it, I was like, right, so what are these vegan cheeses? Because it hadn't occurred to me to go vegan. I was cutting cheese out because it didn't serve me. I know it's bad for you. I know it doesn't produce good cholesterol. I just absolutely know it's not good for me. And I decided I didn't want it in my body anymore. But because I hadn't got my little vegan eyes out and my vegan label on me, I was not going to go and buy vegan cheeses. I'm just like, I'm just not eating cheese. But as soon as I went vegan, I was like, right, what are these vegan cheeses? Right, this one's made of coconut. Oh my goodness, coconut's brilliant. Right, okay. And what about this product? And this one's made of cashew nuts. And I was like, let me try them. I haven't stopped grating vegan cheese over everything since I went vegan. It's just like fantastic. So it's worth digging one out and trying it. If only that, because you can melt it on stuff like cheese. So, just try it, Chrissy. That's what I would say, because I know a lot of people struggle with cheese. But you know what? Your body struggles with cheese. Okay?
I have a cheese weakness too. I of all foods, I miss cheese the most. It's not a problem on days I'm fasting. It's a problem of thinking about it on days that I'm eating. I kind of have that longing for cheese, the taste, the texture, all of that about cheese. I don't remember if I told you, but I'm pretty sure I did when in the first couple of months when I first started fasting and whole food plant-based eating, I dreamt about not cheese, but I dreamt about greasy beef. I kept having this recurring dream about a really thick, juicy hamburger on a grill with the grease just dripping down the sides. I actually kept dreaming about that for weeks and weeks before it stopped happening. I never dreamt about the cheese though, but I do think about the cheese on a conscious level. So it's probably the food that I miss the most. And I don't like the artificial cheeses, and Sue likes them. But what I have found that I do like are some of the artificial meats, like the vegetarian or not vegetarian, excuse me, the vegan hot dog. There's a vegan dog out here that is really good. I love it, and so I like to grill it and put a little mustard on it and wrap it in a tortilla. Or just eat it.
Is that the thing you gave me that I spread on like pate, or Wink did?
No, that was that was a vegan artificial meat, but that was a sausage. That was a sausage replacement.
Yeah. It tasted just like the closest thing to sausage ever. It was absolutely delicious.
I'm really encouraged too about how good manufacturers are getting at making these products, because I think they're going to help a lot of people in the future. I think in the future you'll have a choice when you go into a fast food restaurant, whether you want to get a whole food a plant-based substitute meat, and I think that's going to make a lot of people healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just answering a question. Sorry, I'm not very good at typing and talking. I don't know if there are cheeses that are lactose-free but still animal products. Okay, you don't want any animal products.
No.
But the vegan ones will definitely be lactose-free because there ain't no animal products in them. I actually might do a recipe. There's a cashew nut vegan recipe which makes like a smoked cheese. I might actually try that because a lot of you would be interested in that. So I think you're thinking others probably are too. Yeah, so that's why we like to answer the questions, because if the questions are up there, then you're not the only one. Although we are all individuals, we are all also very similar. So we have similar thoughts. Going back to the soy thing, just briefly, it was because she had heard that a lot of them are chemically produced or something. And I think there was a lot of GMO, a lot of kind of intensive, not so nice farming of them. And I think there was a lot of talk about it being one of the most processed, kind of GMO'd, chemically grown product out there. But there are certainly good sources, and there's fresh, and tofu is great. I'm just getting into tofu actually. It's my Chinese restaurant can make me any Chinese food I like that's vegan if I like the tofu. So do you know what? I'm telling myself I like the tofu. Not really like it that much, but do you know what?
It's how it's prepared. It's how it's made. It can be good. It can be.
I actually bought some yesterday.
Yeah. It's what you do with it. It's what you mix with it. You can, that's the thing about it. It's kind of like a blank. It's like a blank canvas that you can make it into whatever you want it to be. You can make it taste like chicken. You can make it taste like kind of like beef. You can make it taste like fish or pork or however you season it. It takes that on. So right. It's like a
blank texture ready for flavoring.
Yeah, like
made out of beans.
Like a blank piece of paper, and you put the colors on it that you want. It's you do anything with it, and it's healthy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's good. That's good. So do we have any other questions? My 24 lovelies who are on here. Texture is at least 50% of food. I must stop talking to the dialogue box and actually look at you guys. I'm really sorry. I'm getting into a bad habit. I put my dialogue box in a different place today on my screen. So sorry about that. Texture is at least 50% of eating, the textures that you're enjoying, which is why it is nice to experiment with new things so that you're getting the texture. And I think when you're transitioning from meat eating to plant-based, you're missing that texture. And so try some of these corn products, try some of these products and find some that you like. Because if it's going to keep you stuck to plant-based, it's going to be doing you a lot of good. And if you like those textures, then great. You can achieve all sorts of textures. I tell you what, if you grill a portobello mushroom, just give it quite a grilling. It's like beef. I don't know what it happens to it, but it takes a lot of eating. It's very filling. It tastes divine with a bit of garlic and sort of some.
It's delicious. I love those. I had a portobello like a burger substitute thing a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was really satisfying. I was surprised at how satisfying it was.
Delicious. And it's like cutting a steak up, isn't it? It's got the same kind of.
It had the texture like I was eating meat. It really did. It really did. Yeah, I think you're right.
Absolutely. Brilliant. And you can make a brilliant burgers. Like if you like burgers, you make like a bean burger, like made out of, in fact, I'll do a recipe for one because there's loads of recipes for one. Like you make a burger out of, veggies, and then you top and tail it with a portobello mushroom. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, that does sound good.
Sensation. Honestly, I doubt you better finish the plate. Mushrooms are really, really good for you. And, Dr. Gilmore's been saying you need to have mushrooms in your diet, and that's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely delicious. They're like the king on the plate. And then you have all your veggies or all your vegetables around it. It's absolutely delicious. Really, really delicious.
Tons of vitamin D. It's an incredible source of vitamin D. And if you've had trouble getting your vitamin D levels up with supplements, and I did, and I have it manufactured, and I put my picture on vitamin D, okay? That's how important I think it is. I put it in the Meta 7. I put a vitamin D in our essentials, and I actually have separate vitamin D. And even with all of that, I had trouble keeping my vitamin D above 25 level here. And now that I've gone whole food plant-based, I've seen my vitamin D level up as high as 82. Just amazing increase in vitamin D, and my sense of well-being is increased immensely. I feel clearer minded. Of course, there's this whole synergism that occurs when you begin to eat whole food, plant-based eating, and get away from all the poison in the toxins that the animal proteins themselves are actually toxic. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have trying to grasp this idea that the problem with animal protein is how it's processed somehow, or what the animals are fed, and there's some kind of karma that comes in with the animal protein itself because of how the animals are treated. And I think that, look, anything's possible, but the fact is there's science out. There's a lot of science out there that proves that it's the animal protein itself that is actually the toxin. That's the problem. And certainly animal fats, animal proteins, but this combination getting into your body has to work hard to handle all this stuff. And your body doesn't deal well with lots of animal proteins. In fact, the less you eat in animal protein, the healthier you will be. And this has been statistically proven. There's a great book out there called The China Study by T. Colin Campbell that is absolutely incontrovertible when it comes to the whole process of understanding how human beings are affected by eating animal proteins. And the research that was done, it's the largest epidemiological study in the history of the planet. So it's there, and it's not how the animal was treated. It was not what the animal was fed. If you eat a grass-fed beef, it might be a little healthier than an animal that was fed in a feedlot fed corn, but they're both bad. Okay, so getting your head wrapped around this idea that animal proteins are not healthy proteins, that you want to be plant-based proteins, it's so different a way of thinking that it's just really, it's difficult to get there. But keep working at it. Keep reading.
Yeah.
Keep exploring. Keep understanding. And stick as best you can with a whole food plant-based diet. And if you slip up and you have some cheese, or if you do eat some meat or whatever, or you've eaten something and you find later that it had eggs in it or you didn't think so, don't be angry. Don't be upset. Just know that you're working hard to be healthier, and try not to make that same mistake again.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got, talking about measurements, okay, it's really, really important psychologically to take measurements. Now, I know some of you haven't done this, and Lindsay's just saying, "Oh, I didn't take them at the start." Do them now. Where I measure, okay, I measure around my biceps because I've got these flappy bits of arm that I don't want anymore. I measure around my bust, but I also measure my rib cage, so where the bones of your bra are, so which would be your back measurement. Okay, I measure around my waist. I measure on my hip bone because I know that I will definitely be measuring in the same place every time because my hip bones aren't going to move. And then I look in the mirror and I weigh the widest part of my hip. Then I measure the widest part of my thighs and my calves. Now, the reason, it sounds like really over the top, but the first time I did this, I dropped 2 inches from my calf muscles. And I could feel it in my clothes when I put my jeans on because everything's skin tight these days. But I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was just imagining it, but I wasn't. And what that does is you've got 2 arm measurements, 2 thigh measurements, 2 calf measurements, and you've got all these measurements going down your torso, and you add them all up, and then you can see, you can see, oh my goodness, I've lost 2 inches off my waist this week, but I haven't lost any off my arms. But it's really good because muscle weighs so much more than fat, and fat takes up a lot of space on your body. So you may find, we've talked about this before, you may find, particularly when you get to a stage where you're plateauing and you're not really losing any more pounds, you keep getting on the scales and you get disillusioned, and then you think it's not working, and then you think you may as well just eat a cake. I've been there. I've done it all before. If you physically measure your body, you will actually be proof that you are going down a dress size or you're smaller, because also when you're overweight, you tend to wear a load of floaty clothes, something that will hide it, something that doesn't grip. Or you do what I've been doing all summer, is wearing yoga pants, because you can stretch them over just about anything and they feel comfortable. So you don't notice the weight going on and you also won't notice the weight going off. Someone has said she thinks her leggings are a bit baggy, but maybe they're old. Maybe you've lost some inches. So measure, measure, measure. What do they do in sport? They measure it. They measure the performance of that guy. There's a yard line and they measure that and the ball weighs a certain thing and they follow it and they compare results. That's what you need to do when you're on a health journey, especially if weight loss is part of what you're doing. Measure it. What isn't measured isn't monitored. And when your measurements have got down, you might not have changed on the scale. But when you see that you've lost some inches, that is going to motivate you to carry on, even when you can't see it on the scales. It is super important to measure yourself. So if you haven't taken all of your measurements, go do it in the morning or when you've come off this call, okay, and write them all down and keep. Mine's on my fridge now underneath Leanne's picture because, and I've got a whoop whoop on mine because I'm so pleased that I know I feel better, but actually I physically know that I've lost inches. So I think it's really important psychologically. It's really, really good for you when you're feeling a bit down because you go, hell, I've lost 15 inches in the last 2 weeks. I'm staying on this train because I'm looking forward to measuring myself in a couple of weeks' time and seeing what's happened then. You know, it's really motivating. So do it now. It doesn't matter if you didn't do it at the beginning. Guess what? I didn't take a picture of me. So I can't show my before and after pictures, and I still haven't taken a picture, I didn't do that. I made an excuse because there wasn't anyone to take a picture of me. I might take one out of one of my videos, but, if it's not measured, it's not monitored. If it's not monitored, it's not happening. It's a psychological thing. So get measuring, okay, and get motivating yourself. Can you take too much vitamin D?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes, you can, and I want to toss something out too about the measuring, if I can. I want to say that if one of your primary goals is to lose weight, then absolutely you can stay motivated. And one of the ways you can stay motivated, or you need to stay motivated, one of the ways you can do that is with the measurements. But if you're doing this as a lifestyle change, then your weight and your measurements are less important because over time your body's going to take care of that itself. All right. So it all depends on how you're approaching this. If you're approaching this just as a weight loss diet, you're missing the really big picture. And the really big picture is this is a lifestyle change, and that's really what we're talking about is a true lifestyle change. Becoming a whole food plant-based eater is a big change, and you're going to find there's a lot of resistance out there because people are afraid of this. They're afraid of it. For who knows what reason, but they see it as it's almost like joining a cult or getting involved with a multi-level marketing program that's just going to take you away from them. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can actually be still very engaged at mealtime with your friends and family. You just have to learn to do it differently. And once they've got you figured out, then excuse me, somebody's trying to call. But once they've got you figured out, then they'll understand that it's not about them, it's about you wanting to be healthier. And actually a lot of them they'll try to help you along the way, and they'll start asking you questions. At first it'll be on the side. They don't want anybody to know that, you're really kind of interested, that they're interested, because this is just so bizarre, right? So it does seem strange at first, but it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a weight loss diet. And if there's proof of anything, we know that weight loss diets don't work. So if you're only doing this to achieve the goal of a certain weight loss, and then you're going to go back to what you've been doing, then you're missing the real value of what we're talking about here, and that is staying healthier longer term, reducing your risk of diabetes, reducing your risk of heart disease, reducing your risk of cancers, all the things that we've been talking about here. So if it's a long-term thing, then your immediate weight and your immediate measurements are less important. If it's a shorter-term thing, or if you have a real goal of losing weight, well then yes, by all means, measure yourself and keep track. For me, I weigh myself twice a week to make sure that I'm accountable to myself for maintaining a certain weight, because I'm a food addict. I like to eat. And so even though I'm whole food plant-based, I can still overeat. So I do it for part of my maintenance, for part of a lifestyle thing now. So everybody's a little bit different in how they approach this and for what reason. But remember, this really should be a lifestyle change as opposed to just a diet. I got some messages I need to... Sue, I'm going to...
hand over. You need to just answer a message. Okay, I will ask Dr. Kilmore about your vitamin D thing, because I can't answer that one. Right, I'm just going to make it clear what the fasting is, because there's a few things. Somebody works nights. Basically, on a fasting day, you wake up in the morning, or if you're working nights, at night time, it's after you've had your long period of sleeping, and then you don't eat. And then you carry on until you go and have your next sleep or long period of sleeping if you're working nights. So it's not about midnight to midnight. It's not about a certain time. It's literally one of your waking days or nights. If you're on night, you wake up, you don't eat, and then you go to bed. And then when you get up the next day, you eat again, but you keep hydrated. I hope that's made that clear. I don't know what you were smirking at. Someone thought you were smirking. So that's Lindsay, I think that was. Not eating enough to lose weight. I think the reason people focus on weight rather than health is because we're being conditioned to look a certain way, and when we don't look a certain way that we see in the media and all the, everywhere, we feel somehow inadequate or we don't like it, and we attach happiness with having that, whatever that figure is that everyone out there in all the glossy magazines has, or, is airbrushed into that shape. And so I think if the losing weight bit is going to help you with your mental health, with feeling happier, feeling more proud of yourself, feeling more confident, feeling more sassy, or whatever it is that you want from focusing on body image, I think that's a good thing. But, as Dr. Gilmore said, this is about not getting type 2 diabetes, not getting chronic illnesses, keeping your heart healthy, keeping your blood pressure healthy, keeping your mental health healthy, sleeping better, your aches and pains and creaky joints and, your levels of tiredness, all of that, your energy during the day, your general perkiness, all of that will improve with a plant-based whole food diet. And in the process, you will lose weight if you have weight to lose. Okay. But I do understand that a lot of people focus on losing weight because it is just the big thing that everyone goes on about all the time. Everybody wants to lose weight, but nobody's thinking about getting healthy. Generally, when you speak to people, they just want to go on take this pill and I'll lose, 20 pounds in 5 minutes, because people don't want to put the work in. And so everyone's focused on weight. So I know why you're talking about weight, but, Dr. Gilmore is absolutely right. Think about your body as being this really healthy vessel that you live in, and the weight will be coming off anyway. But if you're attaching it to whether you feel happy with yourself, proud of yourself, or kind of generally getting a bit fed up because you can't fit into your jeans. I know exactly what that's like when you put your pants on, or panties as you call them in the States, and they're blooming tight and they're uncomfortable and they're just like, oh, these are just a nightmare. I need to get some new underwear, just underwear even, and then everything you put on top of that, you just feel like a trussed up thing. And I know what it's like when you put on weight, because it doesn't do your mental health any good, because you start beating yourself up. So it's okay if that's your focus, because it's going to make you happier all round. But do look at the bigger picture. Definitely look at the bigger picture, because there's so many more benefits than just being the shape that society says we all should be. It would be great if we were all as healthy as we should be. Okay, so I don't know. I hope that helps in some way. for those of you who are focusing on weight loss, because that's okay, as long as the way you're doing it is through plant-based, whole food eating, healthy, healthy attitude to things. The weight's going to take care of itself. Absolutely. And we already have success stories here.
I think some people actually, they go whole food plant-based and they just eat that way and they're surprised by the fact that they lose weight. When it's a natural part of what your body's doing when it starts getting rid of the fat that you don't need, and you actually become more sensitive to your own naturally circulating insulin, your hormones start working more properly. Your hormones are not working properly if you're eating animal proteins. In fact, your body's confused because it confuses the animal proteins for your own proteins, and so you begin to mount an immune response against these animal proteins, and you mounted the same immune response against your own proteins, and we start developing autoimmune illnesses and sicknesses. We don't feel good. We feel sluggish. We just don't feel like we're supposed to feel. But you talk to anybody that's gone whole food plant-based and they've done it for any significant period of time, and they're going to tell you, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel so much healthier because I'm not eating the other stuff. And you see these guys and gals that are doing juicing and they're doing all this other stuff, and they feel fantastic, and they think, well, it's because of the juicing, it's because of this. Yes, it is, but it's also because you're not juicing steaks, okay? You're not putting chicken in the juicer, okay?
Yeah.
As disgusting as that may sound, is true.
Yeah.
I mean, you can juice all. You're not eating the butter, and it's because you're pushing all the animal products out. You get the same effect by going whole food plant-based, but you don't have to work a juicer all day. You don't have to do smoothies, but if you want to, you can. You can do juicing if you want to, but it's all about not eating the animal products. Anyway, so there you go. I know we're just about out of time for the 2-hour period. No, I still have about another 10 minutes. So,
can I just ask you
I'm supposed to tell you that everybody over here is thanking you, Sue. They're saying, please tell Sue thank you, and for your contribution and your helping out and your participation.
Welcome.
And I agree, thank you, because you're keeping me motivated to do these, and I'm enjoying them very much. And I especially enjoy the fact that I get a chance to spend more time with people and talk about these things, because I'm so limited in my time in the clinic, and I get a chance to really express myself and let people know how healthy this is, and they can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely they can. So thank you for thanking me. It's just, none of this works if you guys aren't on here, okay? And sharing your stories and your successes and your struggles. Lots of people here are saying they don't care what they look like. They just want to feel better. You see, that's the thing. Once you start feeling how you're supposed to be feeling, you won't ever look back at your old diet, because if you do end up eating something you haven't eaten for a long time, my goodness, you will feel like a pile of poo. Honestly, I've been there. I've done that. People being close to death 4 times and just really want to look after their health. Right, I've got several questions about which of the Meta 7 products helps most with weight loss. I think it's actually Meta 7, isn't it?
Right. Yep. Be Meta 7.
I answered that one okay then. The vitamin D question. Right, okay. Let me go back to the vitamin D question. Her vitamin D was 6, lots of exclamation marks.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, she's on 50,000 IU 2 times a week.
Of vitamin D2.
Okay.
It's not D3.
Okay. And
so it's converted. It's converted by the body to D3.
Right, okay. And she's saying her body will not hold it. Any idea why?
It could be that she's so depleted in her stores of vitamin D that it's just not coming up yet. Is she whole food plant-based? She can't be whole food plant-based with a vitamin D that low. So obviously she's not.
I think she may just be joining. Are you whole food plant-based yet, Sharon? Let us know if you could stick that down. I don't know where you are on the program. Sorry, I can't keep track in my head of where everyone is. I'm sorry. But stick a comment down because we're going to finish up pretty soon. So I'd like to get that answered for you. Program, my blood is monitored, and last time insulin level was lowered. I understand. Right. Okay. Let me see. They're talking about D3. Vitamin D2 doesn't work. That's what she's saying. It's been 8 years, not fully. Not fully what? On vegan? I don't know what you're answering there, Sharon. Let me know what you're answering there. Are you plant-based? Are you whole food-based? Have you just made the transition? Are you in the middle of transitioning? Just let us know, because Dr. Gilmore can answer you more accurately there, I think. So, right. Any Sharon, speak to me, Sharon. What's VIT for anywhere? Not fully on vegan, right? She's not fully on vegan.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me like she's she wants to be vegan. It sounds to me like she's understanding how important switching over to a plant-based diet is. But I don't think she's made a significant move in that direction because it's nearly impossible to have a low vitamin D and eat a whole food plant-based diet or eat plants. So it's just nearly impossible because you're getting a diet full of nutrients that you're just not getting with animal products, with the exception possibly of B12. So remember, vitamin D is a fat soluble diet. Vitamin A, D, E, and K are all fat soluble. So if you run low, you can actually run stores run very low too, and it's important to get that built back up. But then once your levels are up, they'll stay up for a long time. So it tells me that if her vitamin D level was recently measured at 6, that I think that without being I don't want to sound rude or off-putting. I don't think that we've done a very good job of being a plant eater because it's just nearly impossible.
Could it be that eating processed kind of vegetarian-y vegan products could contribute to that?
Well, I think sure. I think you could call yourself a vegetarian and eat out of Stouffer's boxes and Betty Crocker stuff all day long, and it's not what we're talking about. And that's why I don't like when people say they're vegetarian. It means you're eating everything except slabs of beef and chicken probably. I know people that call themselves vegetarian and they just limit beef and they eat everything else. It's a term that's just thrown around so much. It has such little meaning because it is used in so many different different ways. So I think that you really to understand what'll happen to your vitamin D level and to your other nutrient levels. Try 6 weeks or 8 weeks of whole food, plant-based eating, 80% fruits and vegetables, 10% mushrooms, and 10% starches. And go back in and get your vitamin D level checked again and see if it hasn't made a significant difference. Because, like I said, I struggled for years to keep my vitamin D level over 25. And once I made the transition, within 3 months, I was over 80. And that's just huge.
That is a huge difference. She said 6 was 8 years ago. It's now 16.
Okay, so
it's taken a long time to come up for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's probably because she's not getting whole food plant-based diet. I think she's probably eating too much processed food. She may be trying to eliminate animal products or animal stuff. Probably not dairy. My guess is she's calling herself a vegetarian because she's still consuming lots of dairy. Probably still eating lots of eggs. And these are not great sources for vitamin D. In fact, the milk has that's why they put vitamin D in milk, guys, because if you eat a lot of dairy, you're not getting enough vitamin D. That's why they put it in there.
She eats lots of vegetables and she definitely doesn't eat junk food. So, we're answering the question in a wide form because it's more beneficial to everyone and we don't know all the information. So I get that you've said that. Thank you. The shirt's lovely. It's from Julie. So, maybe are you still eating eggs and dairy in there? I'm not sure. But that, you've had some great advice here. Just, cut it out for 6 weeks and see how you feel. See how it improves.
I think if she's going to take the opportunity to go back to her doctor's office and get her vitamin D level rechecked, I would have her go at least 8 weeks whole food plant-based, make sure that at least 10% or that she's getting mushrooms in every dish, and that it be at least 10% of her diet. I think she'll be surprised, and probably her physician will be surprised too at the improvement in her vitamin D level.
Fabulous. You going to give it a go, Sharon? Got my thumbs up for you.
That means no dairy, no eggs, none of that stuff. No animal-based products at all for 8 weeks. And go 80% whole food plant-based with fruits and vegetables, 10% mushrooms, and only 10% coming from starch. If you do that strict, I think you'll be amazed, just like I was, at what your vitamin D level does. But do it and let us know. Let us know that we're on the right track, or let us know that we're all kissing the Blarney Stone. Because if we're kissing the Blarney Stone, we're all doing it together. We want to know, okay?
Yes. She says she's going to do it.
All right, that's what I want to hear.
Sharon has said it out loud here on this channel, and I know we're all going to support her. Give her some thumbs up. Give us some love here,
all right,
and some support for saying she's said it here right now. She's going to do 8 weeks, and she's going to get her blood work checked. And I literally cannot wait to see the difference. And we will all be remembering this conversation for sure.
Absolutely.
Don't be anxious. Don't be anxious to try. All it means is don't eat any eggs. Don't drink any milk. Do not slip over and inhale any cheese. You're already not eating meat. I'm still looking at the words on the screen and not the camera. I'm so sorry.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing great. Don't worry about it.
Just if you don't eat processed junk food, then we won't need to look on the back of the pack and go, oh, it's got milk. Oh, it's got, animal fat in it. Just eradicate those and carry on with the good things that you're doing. You can so totally do this. You can so totally do it. I'm going to stick some recipes out there. She says she's accountable. Whoop, whoop. And I've got comment after comment of people behind her.
Good.
Deborah is going to limit her meat intake to chicken every once in a while. Okay, you will find, Deborah, that when you eliminate it more of the time, when you do eat that chicken once in a while, you're going to feel like crap.
No sugarcoating by Sue.
You will. And that will be a good thing, because that will be your body going, oh my goodness me, what have you given it? What have you given me? Absolutely. I experienced that. The day I had my cyst cut, I was feeling very, very sorry for myself. And I wanted some comforty dumph. And I had been a raw vegan up to then. For like about 3 weeks, and thoroughly enjoying it. And I decided that I wanted mashed potatoes in such a gargantuan quantity. I cannot actually believe I could fit it in my body. It was just like, Wink was like, well, I've done a whole saucepan. Is that enough? And I went, yeah. And it was like 3 portions, like literally that big, that much mashed potato. And we had a meat pie, and I ate the pastry and the meat pie, and I had a load of veg, which I love. And then I had more mashed potatoes, and then I ate some chocolate. And then about half an hour later, I was in absolute agony. I had to go and lay down, and I lay down groaning for about 2 hours, literally going, oh, I feel so awful. Literally, I hadn't had any meat for months and months, and my body just went, oh, I may as well have swallowed concrete, folks, and I was talking to Anna about this on Monday night, so I've been there. So if you do have that chicken once in a while, and don't mourn the fact that you might not like chicken, okay, if you don't like licorice, you're not mourning that you don't like it. And if your body decides it doesn't like the meat anymore, and I think, who was it? It was... Oh, I can't remember who it was now. Somebody accidentally ate a chicken sandwich and then then threw it up, because her body just went, oh, God, what have you eaten? I don't want that. So, this is a good thing. It's good when your body knows what it wants. This is what you're doing. You're retraining your body on how it's meant to feel. And when you give it what it needs, it starts doing its job. And when you're functioning at this is my normal, and it's been my normal for ages. Okay, some of you have pain symptoms and you have chronic illnesses. Yes, I get that. But when you don't have any illnesses, but you've got this normal, when you suddenly improve it, and then you go back to what you're old, like my normal while I had the cyst was so gradually went down that I didn't realize how rubbish I felt until that poison was out of my body, and I instantly felt better. You see, when you get that level that your body can perform on, it starts going, oh, actually, I don't need this fat on my hips anymore because I'm not in starvation mode. I'm getting enough live nutrients. Everything's going tickety-boo, thanks. Oh, we don't like that. Oh, no, we're not even going to like the smell of that. And then when we put it in our mouth, we're going to go, I know you won't like with the whole bread thing, Jack, but I make homemade bread, and my son made a loaf, and I hadn't eaten bread for ages. And he said, "Oh, go and try it, Mum." And I said, "I really don't want to try it." And I just thought, "Oh, get over yourself, Susan, for goodness sake. Your son's made a loaf of bread. It looks pretty darn good. Why don't you just try it?" And I put it on, cut a little bit, and I put some, I put my spread on it. That was vegan, and I put it in my mouth, and I was like, "Oh God, it really tastes good, Finian." And then the texture started happening in my mouth, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think I can swallow this." And I went, "I'm really sorry, Finian, but I actually can't make myself swallow this." And I had to let it out of my mouth into my hand, put it in the bin, because it felt like glue to me. That's my body not liking that anymore. And I remember a time when we would sit there with a freshly baked loaf, one that I had baked, and Finian and I would tear through a hot butter on it, and literally it would be like, "Oh, well, we need to bake another one now because it's nearly gone."
Oh my goodness!
But
Hot
body
homemade bread is a gateway food for me. It's a gateway food.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah.
But it's how I'm just trying to illustrate with that example on how your body will lead you. If you stick at it long enough and you don't keep falling off the wagon, you'll get that high feeling. And then when you eat something like a bowl of pasta with cheese on it, don't listen, Jack, okay, you will feel like utter pantaloons when you eat it. You'll go into this raw food coma, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I haven't got any energy this evening." And you won't like how you feel, and you'll go, "I shouldn't have eaten that pasta, should I?" And then, and then next time you're like, "Oh, I don't really want the cheesy, creamy pasta. I actually, do you know what? I want a salad, or I want blah, blah, blah." And that's how my body is altered. And it will happen for you. If you stick at this long enough, when you fall off, you're going to go, "I'm not doing that again." And I wish I could remember your name off the top of my head now. This is really naughty of me. That my lovely who ate a chicken sandwich and threw it up because, and she didn't enjoy it either, Yes, Lynn is saying that she drank a cup of tea with semi-skilled milk while she was visiting someone's house, and it was just disgusting. I literally got made a coffee with the wrong milk in it, and we didn't know till we got home, and I was like,
Blech.
The fat on the you can tell from my face. It was just like, and I felt like I had this plastic coating on the inside of my mouth and my cheeks and my tongue, and I just didn't like it.
I just find milk is just the idea, even the idea of drinking milk, I find repulsive now. It was just so odd because I miss the cheese so much. And
yeah,
I mean,
made from the breast milk of another species.
Right, I know, just amazing.
Who's got 4 stomachs?
And
yeah,
it's the perfect. It's the milk is the perfect food if you are a baby cow.
Yeah,
it is designed to turn a baby cow into a great big beast. Think about that. It is perfect for turning a calf into either a cow or a bull. I mean, it is perfect for that. It is not perfect for anything else. Yeah. I gotta go. It's late for.
And they don't drink milk themselves. What cow in the field is mooing away for some milk? Only the babies that haven't been weaned drink it. And that's true for every species on the planet except us.
True. Yeah. And we keep going on with this odd lie that we need to be drinking milk for strong bones and teeth, when in fact we know the research has proven that the more milk you drink, the more likely you are in later in life to develop osteoporosis. It's absolutely a fact. And it's ridiculous how marketing has convinced us all that we need beef for protein and we need to drink milk for strong bones. It's absolutely ludicrous. I have to go. My time is up. I'm going to be in trouble for DW if I don't.
I am also going to go as well. So I'd like to thank all of you wonderful lovelies, 25 of you.
Yep.
Keep strong. Message me if you're feeling weak. Support each other. And make sure you measure yourself for the measurements for those of you who are losing weight.
Yep.
And, report how you're feeling, your energy, if you're sleeping better, pain, symptom reduction. This is what we want to hear, because that's what you want to hear to spur you on. So we want to hear about your successes.
That's right.
On Monday.
Right. The next fasting day, Monday. In the meantime, enjoy whole food, plant-based.
Absolutely.
All
right. You can do this. Keep strong. Okay. Night, you absolutely glorious lovelies.
Good night.
Thank you for sticking on with us and coming back for part 2. I absolutely love you to pieces.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful. Good night.
Signing off now.
Bye.
Bye.